Satang Prasanga.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, and welcome to today's session. I pray that all is well with you and your families. Today in Mayapur, it's a big day, as the announcement was that they're going to put the body of His Holiness Bhakti Charaswami Maharaj into Samadhi. So please pray from your heart so that Maharaj is merciful to us, so that we can also attain perfection in this lifetime. So today's sutra goes as follows. We may respond to Krishna's merciful request for obedient waiting with, "I didn't ask for this," or "Nothing I do matters," or "Why should I be obedient when compromise seems more practical?" The longer the wait is, the easier it becomes to rationalize away obedient waiting. Instead of waiting still further for Krishna to execute His will in His own way at His own time. I remember a TV interview in the earlier years with Hridayananda Maharaj and Rupanuga Prabhu. And Rupanuga Prabhu was asked at that time there, what is the difference with Krishna consciousness and other religions? And he made this point. He said, Krishna consciousness means we obedient to the laws of God. So this is the discerning feature in today's sutra. We find ourselves that the devotee has snapped. He cannot take it anymore, and all the build-up was just a matter of determination and tolerance in the sense of what he could muster. It wasn't that the devotee was situated with proper understanding. He just was tolerating. In India, we call this diarrhea tolerating. You know, you tell somebody, you have diarrhea, oh, just tolerate. See how long you can tolerate the diarrhea for. It's not going to be long before you just need to go. You know, when nature calls, you have to answer. You can't give a missed call or you can't send SMS. You just have to answer. So today's situation, in what we're reading in today's sutra, the devotee has finally snapped. That means the mind cannot take it anymore, because the mind is still attached to that outcome. You know, we are taking to spirituality and spiritual practice so that we can mature ourselves to deal with outcomes that are beyond us. And this is the defining feature of maturity. Because if we keep on throwing the tantrum, just like we were discussing as little children do, then we know this is the way a child responds. Immediately he cries, he throws a big tantrum and big shouting and everything. And everybody who's watching understands this is the natural behavior of a child or someone who's immature. But someone who's mature, he reflects, he contemplates, and then he resolves what to do. And he uses all forms of knowledge to do that. So it's very easy to respond in this way. And usually many of us find ourselves in this way. It's very difficult actually to get to that stage where we can accept it, imbibe it, absorb it with knowledge and move on. But if we don't practice it, how will we get there? This is why we're doing these sutras like this. So today's one says, we may respond to Krishna's merciful request for obedient waiting with, I didn't ask for this. Usually we throw the blame. It's not my fault. I didn't ask for this. This has just come upon me. But if we have knowledge, we know it's our parabdha karma, or we discussed that verse, Yasyaham manugranami harisya tad dhanam shanai, that it could be Krishna's special arrangement upon us. But by responding in this way, then we are completely blocking off that. With using our independence, we are blocking the intervention of Krishna in our lives. It goes on to say, nothing I do matters. So now we're moving from some kind of knowledge base that we had to now pity. That nobody cares about me, not even God. Nothing I do matters. Everything is just thrown upon me. Remember, the laws of nature are axiomatic. Nothing comes to you just by chance. Nothing comes to you just by chance. It's Krishna who is ordained and arranged that you get the good and you get this kind of bad as well. So we got to be open to both, because when the good comes out of its own accord, it's very nice, isn't it? And we say, oh, God is so kind. Krishna is so merciful. You know, Prabhu, Krishna is so merciful. So when Krishna is also merciful with this kind of event, then now you're not too happy with that. So we have to, Sitoshana Sukha Dukkada. Krishna is saying, understand both. Sukh and Dukh. Both will come. Happiness and distress. As soon as the distress is over, again happiness will come. And when that is over, again distress will come. We are in that kind of environment. What do we expect? So Krishna is fair. Samoham sarvabhuteshu na me dvesestena priyaha. He says, I'm equal to all, I'm partial to no one. So what we are getting is justified by the laws of God. Goes on to say, why should I be obedient and compromise when compromise seems more practical? See, where are we judging this from? Why does it seem more practical to compromise and not be obedient? Because it's the restless nature of the mind. And the mind, we know how turbulent it is. We know Krishna warns Arjuna, Chanchala hi manasa Krishna pramati balavadidham chasyaham nigraham manye vayu eva chaduskaram. Arjuna, know this mind to be mad. Pramada means mad. This mind is mad, Arjuna. You want to follow somebody who's mad, what will happen to you? Pramada bhalavat, it's very powerful, and dhritam, it is determined to do what it wants to follow. That's why if we don't have it under our control, it can really mess our lives up. So better we listen to Krishna, or better we listen to something that's mad? It's a very difficult option. It's a very difficult option. We say it's like out of the frying pan into the fire. Which one is more comfortable? I'd rather choose Krishna, because I know the potential there for growth, for all the auspiciousness is great. If I listen to my mind, it seems like it's the better option. This is why this devotee has snapped today. It seems like it is the better option, but he's trusting his mind, which is going to lead into infamy. So if we trust Krishna and Krishna's judgment, definitely there's going to be a better outcome there. It's a tough one, isn't it? It goes on to say, the longer the wait is, the easier it becomes to rationalize away obedient waiting, instead of waiting still further for Krishna to execute His will in His own time. See, if the time frame is long, then we really start getting restless. If it's short, we can do a vrat for one day. We can do Ekadasi for one day. Try to do Ekadasi for Chaturmas and see. I remember when I was in Vrindavan, in 1 year, I tried to do Chaturmas and it was really difficult. I don't think you can imagine me with all that. I had the beard and no clipping nails and eating one time a day and chanting at least 64 rounds a day. And at first I thought, no, by determination I can do it. It's okay, we'll manage it. And it will keep me focused, and it was, feeling very powerful. But at that time I was immature, and I did it just out of determination to say at least once in my lifetime I can do it. And it was going on after 2 to 3 weeks, and then I started feeling the grind, and you start realizing, hey, how far more we got? Or we say in Hindi, aur kitna dur parega? Yeah, so after 3 weeks, you really started feeling the heat, and you must know it's rainy season, it's humid, it's tough, and Ekadasis are all Nirjal Ekadasis. It was really difficult. I lost almost 20 kilos during that time. But when at the end of it, as the second month progressed, I realized that determination is not going to get me through this. So then I started to pray very dearly that, my Lord, I'm sorry, out of my immaturity I started this vrat, and I realize it's a bit over me. Not a bit, it's completely over me. And to continue this, I'm going to need your blessings desperately. So I prayed sincerely every day, and then more and more from that vandanam, from that prayer, strength started to come. And as strength developed, it became a little easier and easier and easier, and then somehow the 4 months came by. And it was a very powerful experience at that, because I realized that many times if we listen to the mind and we think the mind has enough strength to deal with things, and then when it shatters us completely. Everything breaks down. So from that situation I learned that best to just take shelter of Krishna in every situation that's coming. Just take shelter of Him. Be open to what He's suggesting. Be open to what He's telling you. He'll speak from the heart. You'll hear, like we said, there's 2 voices. One is from the chatter of the mind, and one is from the heart, especially during japa. Especially during japa, the mind becomes very, very talkative. Brings up all the issues, and then 2 hours of pure, unadulterated, offensive names we chant. Nam aparad, 2 hours of pure Nam aparad. But Krishna is kind, we're trying and we're moving on. But make genuine efforts. Don't try to cheat yourself. This is the point of all of this. As we're proceeding, we need to develop that maturity, because without it, there's going to come events and difficulties in life that are going to be way beyond us, and we really have to sincerely pray at that time. That's why most of the Srimad Bhagavatam is of prayer. Most of the stories end up in prayer, because this is what the devotee eventually does, depending on his own strength. Krishna says, Mat chitta sarva durgani, mat prasadat tarasyasi, atachatvam ahamkaram na sarasyasi vinasyati. 1858, Krishna says that mat chitta, be conscious of me, sarva durgani, in all difficulties. Mat prasad. See this as my mercy. Tarasyasi. If you can see this also as my mercy, you'll glide through it. But if you don't, atachatvam, if you don't do this, ahamkaram, and you listen to the false ego and the mind, na surasyasi vinasyati, you'll be vanquished by the laws of nature. It is a very difficult situation. So learn to trust Krishna more. I think what we're hearing from this devotee today, it's a natural phenomenon. This is what's going to happen. So we want to develop strength to stick to Krishna no matter what. Don't be like Duryodhana and take the whole Narayan Sena, Krishna's army, 16 Akshohinis. Just be like Arjuna and take Krishna. And Duryodhana thought that this Arjuna is a crazy guy. How he just takes Krishna alone? What can Krishna do? One person against such a big army. But Arjuna knew better. And from that, if he thought from his heart, Duryodhana thought from his mind. Two different places. So I hope you enjoyed the class today. Please join us again tomorrow. Hare Krishna.